Oh my goodness, what's going on, Cancer? This is your girl, Miss RHW, here with another love read for y'all. This time we're going to be doing something a little different. Okay, you see this red oracle deck? This is called the I Ching Oracle. We're going to be taking a look at what's going on as far as your love life goes with this new deck and a new spread that's going to be going along with it. So here's what we're doing. This oracle deck requires me to pull two cards. So I'm going to pull one card in the very beginning to get an idea of what the message is trying to tell us all overall. And I'm going to then pull the tarot cards to get an idea to, flesh out the reading. At the end, I'll pull the second card, line up the lines that are corresponding to the instructions for this deck to get the deeper messages that are maybe hidden in the reading, and tie that will come with the outcome card for this oracle, for this deck. All right. So, my baby proof spiel, guys, as always. Okay, this is for the collective of Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So, just be sure that you have done your astrology and know where Cancer is in your chart to know where it applies. That being said, there may be portions of this reading that may not resonate with you. It may be because that there are other Cancers watching this video and are looking to get some clarity on their situation, and it just, you may have different storylines. So, I appreciate everyone's patience with the parts of the reading that may not resonate. If you are looking for something that tailors a little bit more towards you, or just looking for a reading on your situation in particular, there is information in the description box below. I'm creating a social club for adults only, my wonderful YouTube babies. So this is for anybody watching this, but for the specifically YouTube babies, because YouTube has a thing about adulthood and keeping kids safe, and there's nothing wrong with keeping kids safe, but it shouldn't be at the detriment of stifling taxpayer dollars and keeping those people who are the most responsible for our communities shut out. I'll have a wonderful place for you guys to congregate, hang out, meet new people, work from home, study, and feel like a regular ass person. But also, even if you're a professional and an entrepreneur or a student and trying to get your life out there, or just some regular person that has a 9 to 5 and wants to congregate and hang out with other adults, come join us. All that information is in the description box below. Okay, all right, let's see what's going on in y'all love lives with the I Ching Tarot. Let's see what's popping. What's going on, Cancer, with love? What's up? You guys are just chilling? What's happening? 30. Interesting. Let's see what 30 is all about. 30. Oh. Okay, adhering, fire. When two forces mutually support one another, they achieve a greater effect than would be possible for each one acting alone. You are currently in the vicinity of a complicated power struggle. Understand that even you cannot be impartial. Accept the given nature of mutual dependence. Open up to other forces and to relationships capable of bearing the strain. All of those involved will live up to their individual challenges through mutual support. You should not question the importance of cooperation, even in relationships where there is less harmony. Adapt your ideas to the realities and use your energy to expand into new horizons. We'll see how this is going to be really deeply applied to the reading here. That's the essential message. Okay. Never mind, it says. We don't do that. Okay. We don't do that. Why? So annoying. Oh my god. What is going on? My cards are bending up really badly. I've been shuffling pretty well all day. What's the issue? I don't like it. I don't like that. Okay, the fuck? Super defensive. I don't know why that energy's coming up, but I don't like it. You don't want to work with this person, obviously. You don't want to do whatever this card just suggested you do because you're having issues or something. You're gonna get through it though. Shuffling this real well. You're gonna get a really different reading now. At least you should. I mean, damn, it's starting to get better. See that? Good lord, whatever darkness we just went through. No, see, we're gonna do it again. Stop now. All right, a little bit better. See what I'm saying? Already straight away. You got a lot of stuff going on. You don't know if you trust this person. Okay, we see that. I mean, give me a. This is. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the. This was like the hardest shuffle I've ever had. Like what? I don't understand that, Cancer. Okay. Let's. Can we get the rest of this reading out easily? Oh my goodness gracious, what is going on with y'all? Your love life is supposed to be just weird now. It's supposed to be single and shit. If you're not single, then welcome. If you are not enjoying your relationship and shit and things are going on crazy, well, I felt that in the shuffle. If things are actually okay and it's just really intense, then okay. I felt that. All these cards are strange as fuck. I'm going to be honest with you guys. But actually, Ten of Pentacles is nice. Very nice. This is nice. This is not great. This could be better. This is not great. We gotta work on our tongue. We gotta work on what we talking about, what we saying. Gemini is coming up too strong for you. This is your 12th house talking. This is why it was like, yeah, this is why this was hard to pull out, because we're stepping into 12th house territory for Cancer. Cancer, you're being asked not to be the Gemini. You're asked to be gentle, to be kinder, maybe softer with your messages. I think something's coming up where you could be having the thing that you want, but it's in a state of limbo because maybe we're having a hard time seeing eye to eye. And so too, this isn't always about you, right? This could be that the other person's a little snippy, the other person's too quick to jump to conclusions and to react. And maybe that makes you feel like you should constantly acquiesce to this energy. It could be that too. Maybe it's time to say, yeah, know what? No, I do have boundaries. I do have things I will not tolerate. And that's one of the things that the Knight of Swords does. I think he says no too much and too quickly. So the Knight of Swords sometimes could be going into situations and he don't stop either though. Even though he says no, he doesn't know when to quit. So the Knight of Swords, I feel like, is more of just like someone that's ready for the challenge, ready to kind of go ahead and get into it. But he needs to know when to possibly reconvene or possibly handle a situation differently to get the victory he's looking for. Because he wants success. The only way to get that is by being very clever, being very smart, using your intellect, and not always just using what's most available. What's next available to you, best available to you, whatever the term is that suggests that, sometimes when we tear people down because it's the first thing that pops up to our head because we think it's smart to bring up their shortcomings for them to be more humble, it actually does the opposite of what we were trying to do. It absolutely does the opposite of what we wanted it to have the effect of. And it could create enemies, and it could create allies, and it could create problems, and it can create solutions. Leave more questions than there are answers, things like that. So interesting. I didn't mean to start off with your 5th card, but this card here talks about your current situation. Y'all could be really dealing with somebody, and I was thinking, like, who are you dealing with that you don't want to deal with? Because this is like, y'all should be single, but I said if y'all in a relationship, this is what it is. Because singles, let's be real, it's really like some mental stuff, something to do with your psychology in regards to how you talk to yourself every day and go out and everything. This is like internal processing about whether or not you're good enough, or whether or not a situation's good enough, whether or not this is like out of your league or this is under your league, or what, kind of hitting the perfect kind of storm issue, right? Where you're kind of deliberating way too much on the stuff that really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, what you are looking for is more to do with a connection than to do with the physical stuff that would make you feel like that connection, give you the intensity that in the connections you're looking for. I think. I don't know if the details really matter. I think it's something deeper, and the connection is the thing that you're really more worried about than the head stuff, the communication stuff, the stuff that will have to that is really handled by the mind. That stuff. And I feel like the situation's gotten too heady. It's got too Gemini about this. Where's the water? The water is here, and this is not a water I like to see. I'm not gonna lie. This is like, yo, oh shit, somebody is about to walk away because they're not happy with the situation. This is dissatisfaction. I'm not saying you are, you're about to lose somebody. I don't think this is like, I can't predict the future. Whatever's happening isn't suggesting that someone's going to walk away, but this is a vibe that there's a walk away sort of energy, like a walk away, like, yo, this is just, we're missing something out of completely. Like, it's just not what I want. This is just not it. I'm gonna go figure it out, though. I'm gonna go figure out what it is. And this is being too impulsive, thinking that the situation is wrong. Something's not right. Instead of looking internal to find the issue, or maybe looking elsewhere for the situation, looking for elsewhere for a solution, you may end up creating a new problem, going outside of yourself or the connection to find that issue, find that problem, or find that solution, rather. I really can't get my words together today. I apologize. I'm going to stop bouncing all over the place to get to this reading. When I see the Lovers come up as your current situation, the Lovers is, again, to do with decision making in regards to your head and your heart. What do you know to be true, and what do you feel to be true? And sometimes the know to be true steps in like the left side of the brain, or the masculine aspect, the animus, where it protects us, where we're now deliberating on ways in which this could just be a figment of our imagination, trying to make sure that we are not just goading ourselves for something that will inevitably hurt us. Our heart doesn't steer us towards hurt or pain and danger. It steers us towards happiness, pleasure, satisfaction, potential, all these other wonderful things that actually encourage growth. The mind protects us against all the things that actually hurt us and all that other stuff. That sets that up. So the heart is sitting here going, well, you know that you are in alignment with this. You know this feels right. So what is the issue? What's the problem? What's the issue? What's the problem? What's the issue? The head is like, there's a ton of issues. There's a ton of problems. Do you not see the list? I'm giving them to you. I'm telling you. This is why we're not making any moves. This is why we're stagnant. This is why we're not making any changes. Because the Hangman is talking about a stagnant period. It's about nothing really happening, nothing going on. But there's a lot of stuff going on underneath the surface. There's a lot of stuff going on in the psyche and the mind. A lot of stuff going on in the spiritual, in the 12th house, like the things that are hidden, things that you're not really showing to the world right now, the things that you're trying to understand for yourself so you can better represent you before someone else attempts to say that they know you before you understand it. And you may feel like it's in the right direction, but you don't want to be, you don't want to be misled. You don't want to be guided in a direction that's not line with you because you heard it from somebody else's mouth. So you're not gonna necessarily just go with whatever. So it's fair wherever this mindset is. You're just like, look, I gotta be comfortable. I gotta be good with this. And until that happens, we're just gonna be here for a minute. We're gonna be here for a while. In the past, your past influence is 7 of Wands. Before, some points, you were just like, I'm interested, but I got a lot of people around me who are either not my type or more my type, but they keep doing stuff that I'm trying to get away from or not interested in, or they keep bringing old stuff up that I no longer. I've elevated myself. I'm a totally different person, and I keep running into the same old the things that kind of perpetuate or encourage your series of doubts, your thought processes of, well, this is probably why I'm single. I'm gonna stay single. Or I'm not gonna be happy, or this is why I can only find relationships with these type of people, or I'm always gonna get in these situations and these problems with these types of individuals. I'm never gonna really be happy. But that's not always the case. 7 of Wands is like, hey, you know what? I'm also here to actually handle a challenge, a real one, and not ones that are going to make me feel like I'm kind of dealing with something that is not at all up to the level I'm at. It's not really a challenge for me because I've already conquered it. If you're dealing with other people who are still struggling with stuff that you kind of have already gotten over, and you're noticing that you're helping them, or you're that counsel for them, or you're not really getting your needs met, you're just kind of dealing with somebody in a way like you have a connection, but it doesn't seem to get past a certain intellectual level, and you want it to supersede this because you are at a different place, then you don't need to just be all happy with what this is. This is walking away from like, hey, this is a big thing for me. This is going to be affecting my sexuality and as far as how I see myself and how I see you. I think I gotta go and do me searching. I gotta go find out what about this situation I can do to be happy, or if there is really just this is the best we can do. Maybe this the best we can do is just be friends. The reason why I say this is because the Ten of Pentacles isn't saying that you walk out of there just completely donezo. The Ten of Pentacles is at a completion of a cycle, but this can be in a way that, you know, it's in the benefits to everyone's legacy, and doesn't necessarily mean you have to create an enemy. It could be a friend, could be another way of kind of, you know, creating some sort of, you know, checkpoint where you're like, hey, touching base and catching up and all this, but you don't have you know, you don't have any, what's the term I would like to use? You don't have any, you know, attachments per se. Now, the Ten of Pentacles, I feel like, because it's the family card. Well, I know this is not a card family, but this Ten of Pentacles is kind of have a lot, can sometimes have something to do with family. You know, old people. You know, your, for instance, your elderly and things like that. I just don't think that really. I mean, this is just like making sure you know who good people are. You know who, you know what, you know what's, you know, how everybody's personalities kind of work within, you know, a sort of bigger picture of things, and so you can place them where they are reasonably in your life without completely disconnecting. But you don't continue to, you know, perpetuate a cycle, or you don't have to go down a path that you just don't really see much turnout in. Because this is really what this is. It's like, hey, you know what? This was comfortable, this was safe, this was familiar. But if it's not giving you much to grow off of, and it's kind of boring you, and it's killing your vibe, and it's not encouraging you to grow, it could be all right. It's all right, you know? Seed is planted, a tree is growing. Not much needs to be done other than to continue to water it and come back to it, and, you know, whatever it happens to it. You know, you do your due diligence as a, you know, the person in the beginning. You did, and you're no longer in the beginning periods with this type of thing. It doesn't look like this is a new thing. For those of you that are, you know, they're resonating with the story, you've been with this individual, you know what this person, who this person is. This is someone who's present, but you're currently asked right now in the what can be manifested now, the actions taken is to recognize this as an ending of some sort. Just like this, recognize this as a gift of some sort, and or notice what gifts you receive and take those new gifts and do something new with it. You no longer have to sit in the space of dissatisfaction. You can allow yourself to find what it is that's missing within you, or what you feel like is missing in that truly fulfills you in a connection. If you know in your heart of hearts that you're just not happy, even though there's nothing really to complain about, everything's kind of comfortable, but you feel like at the same time you always got to justify yourself. You always got to stick up for yourself, or there is like this, like, you know, this person's coming from a certain angle, but there's this thing where you don't want to deal with this sort of like basic simpleton sort of thing. You're a different person, you've elevated again. This person maybe have simpler issues, simpler problems that they're not simple to them, you know, all that stuff, but at the same time it doesn't really it's not an issue that you currently deal with. It's something that you've already you already got your problems with. You already figured it out, or you've already got some method to cope with that. And any suggestions they give you, they push back, or they have a reason to attack your character, or attack you, or make you feel like you gotta justify your level of success, in your own personal development, spiritual development, or what have you. Like, nobody should be trying to tear you down. And I feel like this energy is like, unfortunately, like someone that's attacking you personally, when honestly you're just being probably helpful. You're kind of being like insightful. You're just giving them suggestions, and it goes nowhere. And you feel like you've reached the cap of the potential of this growth. You've reached the cap of the growth that this relationship had. If there is any more, then it needs to show now, because at this point you're checked out. Cancer, you just like, you know what? I can't do this. If it's going to be a personal attack, if you're going to take offense to what I'm saying, then maybe this isn't it. Or two, this is maybe something deeper about this situation that you're not seeing, and it may require you to go a little deeper than what's visible and what's seen here. Because I feel like you've maybe reached the cap of what can be visibly seen, what can physically be sought out. Maybe there's a spiritual angle to hit of this. Sometimes this isn't saying that you need to break up and leave this person alone. Maybe you've reached a dead end to the process in which you're finding an issue with the connection that you know feels very destined, feel very strong. You don't have to break up with this individual. You are clearly being asked here to work in tandem with somebody else. And I don't think working alone is really the approach. And I don't think saying goodbye is the issue. But I do think that maybe if you need space to think about how you can solve this problem in a different way, then that's another thing. But I think there's another way to handle something, and it doesn't need to be done with brute force. It doesn't need to be done with direct communication. It could be completely indirect. It could be something more internal. It could be something spiritual, like I was saying. This is too heady for you, Cancer. I'm looking at this, I'm thinking to get Gemini, and I'm like, I just did Gemini's reading. This should be Cancer. The only thing I'm seeing water oriented is this. And this is not a good thing to have water oriented, in my opinion. This feels like something's missing. And this is like, you're not noticing, there's maybe a spiritual context that this is your wheelhouse. To be spiritually aware and to be emotionally aware of this individual, emotionally able to pick up something. There's something deeper. There's some deeper truth to all this. And you don't have to be right. You just need to be open to receiving information. And I feel like the only issue is that in the past, there maybe have been people who were triggered that you were able to pick up that there was something going on. That you were able to intuitively notice that there was a shift, there was a change, or something off. But maybe you were too specific, and it drove them away because you tried to nail them down with what you knew was right, which was that there was an emotional fluctuation, but you were trying to nail them down on the specificities, and you needed to give them space to figure that out, or give them space either to figure it out or either to tell you the truth about what it is that they were feeling, because you cannot know for sure what exactly is being felt. You can sense what's been changed, what's changing around you. You'll always be able to pick that up. But what it's changed into, that's going to require the mind. It's going to require the communication, the talking to happen and to take place. The body will always sense the world around it. It can't do anything but sense the world around it and continue to operate, of course, on its own merits. Breathe for you, pump blood for you, shit like that. Digest food for you, send sensations from your hand or whatever part of your body to your brain and back to it, so you know where it's at and what that's supposed to feel like, and if you want to be around that at all, that sort of shit. I really get this vibe that right now there's a miscommunication. There's a miscommunication because there's too much emphasis on communication, on the communication being exact. And I feel like there's some things that are just still left to be figured out, and it needs time for it to be figured out, and you need space for it to be given to you, and you need to be taking it at its face, and you need not be so, well, I don't know if I can believe this because your sensing doesn't feel like it's true. You're not supposed to try to justify someone's feelings with it being exactly what you think it should be. You're not feeling that person's feelings for them. They're feeling it for however they're feeling it and interpreting it to the best of their knowledge how it's meant to feel for them. And you're supposed to just work with that. If other people in the past maybe misled you, may have said some other shit, gaslit you and stuff like that, the person you're interacting with could be very honest, but very honest in a way that's kind of harsh, and it could be very jarring. And I think that the only way to avoid that is just to take what they're saying at face value and not push it, not doubt it, not insinuate that you know more or better. Just take it for what it is. Hear them for what it is. Nothing's missing. What's missing within you is what you're figuring out, and that may mean that yields where the other person ends, where the other person begins. Is where you now need to start going back within yourself and be like, okay, so what am I actually trying to do? Again, the Eight of Cups is not always somebody walking away from a situation. It's not always somebody stepping out of the situation and saying, you know, fuck it, let's break up. It could just be like, hey, I need to figure out what's going on, why I'm trying to insinuate that there's something more to something of this situation when it's probably just me. It's probably something in me that I feel like is missing. Maybe there's something about my situation that I'm trying to look for in this situation, and I'm just not facing it. And not because I don't want to face it, but because I didn't realize that it's possibly somewhere else, and I'm seeing it and it's taking effect in this way. Emperor. Maybe it's something to do with your will, with a sense of control. Again, 12th house is the only house that can't be controlled. And I say 12th house as far as astrology goes is because it's suggesting that that's where you most lean on faith. You can't see what's behind you. You can turn your head in your back and your body around to see what would be behind you. But be honest with you, what you're looking at is what's in front of you. You cannot see simultaneously what is in your back unless, again, you have a mirror of some sort. And you're not crazy and seeing shit anyway. You don't have eyes behind the back of your head. So, in the same sense, that's another way to interpret the way in which you should be possibly operating with people and your relationships with somebody else. There's only so much that you can detect and see and vibe with. You have to get information by asking them and then leaving and letting that be the truth for what is here right now. And see how that plays out. Okay, that be facts for now. Don't like just take it as face value without suspend disbelief, and only when they give you a reason and evidence and proof right in your face to disbelieve what they had said before. You take that and you run with it. It's a new policy. Your action is to say, hey, take this as to be law and just let it be. It is what it is now. It is set in stone. It's growing. It's set. It is what it is. This commitment seems to be pretty secure enough to be able to grow internally with things that, with its internal depths, which means it's in changes and adjustments that will find the best way to live in harmony. Because this is a harmonious card. I don't see separation. And maybe for some of you there was separation, and then maybe I'm seeing something else for all of you, and it's not separation. But I don't think the separation is the main message. I think it's, if there was any separation, it's like, hey, take some time for yourself to figure out if this is just not your ego kind of coming through, and you're Knight of Swords, that you're not just overdoing it. Gemini. Cancer. And it could be vice versa. Somebody could be oppressing themselves onto you and insinuating that, you're doing stuff, and it could just be getting to a point where you're like, look, I think maybe you need some time to recollect. I still love you. I still feel like, we have something, but I just feel like you're attacking me, or you're making this about me when this is really about you. It could be the other way around. It's always about what, of course, guys, please remember take it how it resonates for you. Such a, reading for so many of you guys. So the stories are going to be, it's going to be vast. I'm trying to hit as many, kind of jog so many different, different mindsets to see how it could all play a role. It's not set in stone. There's no exactness to it. Of course, because of the nature of how these readings are for YouTube or any other platform I'll post this video on. Okay, so you have such a cool card. I don't think I've ever seen this one really. This one's neato. I like it. Okay, and so 48 is the well. The well symbolizes, excuse me, let me just take a step back. We need to go back to 30 and count all your lines. Okay, and then hearing was fire again. So, as that hearing said, when two forces mutually support one another, they achieve a great effect than would be possible for each one acting alone. You're currently in the vicinity of a complicated power struggle. Understand that even you cannot be impartial. Accept the given nature of mutual dependence. Open up to other forces into relationships capable of bearing the strain. All of those involved live up to their individual challenges through mutual support. You should not question the importance of cooperation, even in relationships where there is less harmony. Adapt your ideas to the reality and use your energy to expand into new horizons. Take the energy that's being built up and what you feel is missing out of the relationships, because it doesn't have much to do with that. If you don't have anything, if there's something you disagree with, if there's some sort of pathway that I don't know, I just feel like, yeah, if I said separation earlier, don't listen to that. I feel like, I mean, if I take that how it applies for your situation, but I don't know if I agree with that message anymore. And I'm perfectly okay with saying that. I can read the reading wrong sometimes, and I don't think it's really wrong. It's just definitely, maybe it's a very small majority of you guys that would apply to. But the majority probably is saying your relationship is about more so, not so much about what you agree with, but more so about how well you respect each other's differences, and you can live in harmony with that, with the acknowledgement of those differences, and how you can best allocate that newfound energy into something different. Like I was saying, if there's something's missing that you can't really resolve well in your relationships, then it's okay to resolve it other ways, in other places, and I don't know. I think it's just maybe something about values and principles. Don't worry about being correct. It's just don't go in that attack mode. That's really what it's saying. The sacrifice is do not fight. The Knight of Swords is a fighter. He will fight you tooth and nail, especially if he's got a message he's urgent to tell you. So let's count these numbers. Let's count these lines. 1 is different. 2 is different. 3 is the same. 4 is different. No, 5 is different. Oh, wow. So, wow. So, the only thing different is 3. Sorry, the only thing the same is 3. So, let's just read everything but 3. Line 1. Each new beginning holds its own surprises in store. Create the vision you need through quiet and level-headed planning. Never lose sight of your objective, as the first step decides what is to come later. Line 2. Try to reduce the extremes in your actions. This creates harmony and will bring good fortune. Ooh, yeah. I think I was reading the opposite, so just be careful. Yeah. I like that message better. Okay, we're skipping line 3. Line 3 doesn't apply to us. Line 4. The upturn is unstable and the force Line 4. The upturn is unstable and the force insufficient for long-term success. Ooh. The upturn is unstable and the force insufficient for long-term success. Pay attention that you don't disregard your main concern for quick success. Line 5. Inner change is accompanied by psychological growing pains. You recognize the limited importance of desires and concerns and endeavor to find new approach to life. In line 6. You must energetically fight the element of disturbance if you want to rid yourself of the bad. But don't be too extreme in your actions. Being too demanding on yourself or others is not advisable. Yeah, don't be too don't be pushy. Don't be pushy. Don't be pushy, Cancer. Don't do it. Resist the urge. Do it. You got it. Trying to sound so badly like an old man. But anyway, the well as your outcome. And this is where the guy is going. He's going into the well. I say going into well because he's like walking away from 8 cups that with an empty space in looks like a formulation of a pyramid that was trying to be that was made up of chalices. Somebody was trying to stack these cups up, and there was a missing chalice that could have completed it, and somebody went off to go off and possibly go look for it, or maybe was dissatisfied with an incomplete pyramid and maybe went off to do something different. Not to say that he won't return, but it's to suggest that there's something more internal looking to be satiated, and it should be satiated. This may not be the route. This may not be the thing to do it. But let's see. The well symbolizes a deep and inexhaustive fullness of being from which every person creates meaning in life. It represents the fundamental and unchanging needs of humanity. We need to find the source of our true nature in order to reach fulfillment. To this end, we are led by intuitive understanding rather than reason. We understand the boundless variety of the human spirit by feeling. Clarify your real desires, yearning, and needs. Push on ahead to the real and true values of life rather than sticking to superficial norms. In your inner core lies the source of your strength and clarity. Wow, let me just read back some of these parts that I wanted to really emphasize on. It says it represents the fundamental and unchanging needs of humanity. We need to find the source of our true nature, in order to reach fulfillment. To this end, we are led by intuitive understanding rather than reason. This is why there's no way to tell whether or not this is because of the situation this person is walking away, or if there's something else that this person's looking for. It's the moon in this card that's originally given, but of course YouTube is making me baby proof things. I'm not drawing on my cards to hide naked people. It's if you're an adult, which is adults should be the only people watching my shit, you shouldn't have to worry about seeing a nipple or two. But unfortunately, I have to show you some baby-proofed cards, so I have to explain the original meaning so you can hopefully get a better understanding as to why I find this significant and it applies for you guys. But the moon in this card here suggests that there's an emotional component to it. And the moon is associated with you, Cancer. Your ruling planet is the moon. And to have the moon in this reading is actually ironic. And I think it's cool to have it in your how to change your obstacles into stepping stones is to not be, is to live it, to accept it as it is, and then to, to recognize that there's a deeper calling to what you're feeling led to correct of some sort, or to assert your perspective on. Because I feel like there's a deeper thing, there's something more productive or satisfying that you could do to get your point across. And it doesn't have to be directly to this connection or related to the connections that you're dealing with per se, but due to maybe your expertise and what you feel like everyone should know for their own spiritual guidance itself. This could be something else where you take it internal and you figure out maybe there's something else that you're looking to satiate within you. The Emperor is saying, take this selfish, run with it. Maybe this is about you. This is about your ego. This is about something to do with what you're within your capability. And the moon in the tarot, though given to Pisces, and we're talking about 12th house stuff. It's so funny. This would be this would be kind of coming up for you as well. This is like, I don't think this is about the communication or about people or whatever. This is really about you maybe noticing something else you're being called to do. And it may just be it's being inspired through these relationships, and it may need a different path for it to be transmuted. And that anything's wrong or there's an issue with the connection, but that it's not necessarily being utilized in a way that it could be, and you're learning ways that you may be willing to utilize it. And I think it comes from being open to the possibilities. And the Knight of Swords can be a little hard-headed. He can be bullheaded a bit, right? May not listen very clearly, very well. But once he's gotten the message, he's on it. Wow. All right, Cancer. This has been your reading. I appreciate y'all. I think you guys actually beat. What was it? Was it Aquarius? Or I can't remember who had the longest reading so far, but I think you guys beat it for 40 minutes. Holy cow. Your reading was pretty intense, and it was pretty clear too. But at the same time, it wasn't, because I totally probably read it wrong for like the good first 15 minutes of this reading. So, well, we got two different styles of it. This is the nature of duality. Thank you, Gemini. Okay, but you have two different perspectives, guys. Now run with it again. There's so many of you, so that could be applying to so many of you, and please take it as you will. It doesn't resonate, I apologize, but I also do hope that for the best, that hopefully some bits and pieces of this reading could be of some use to you. But all right, guys, until next time, and as always, I'll see you on the other side.